Good morning, Salem casters. It's Pastor Matt, and we are into October 1st, 2020. First, I want to say good morning, and as we begin our devotions today, I wanted to apologize to you all because I haven't kept you informed of things because of not getting some test results back. A week ago, not this last Tuesday, but the Tuesday before, um, my wife had my wife Gay had a temperature of like 104 to 106, and we went to the emergency room where they found out that she had some sort of infection. They did do a COVID test and gave her some antibiotics, but still her temperature, she ran a fever for Tuesday night. On Wednesday, her leg looked like it had this red boot on it. We'd seen this before and found out that it was cellulitis. She'd had it 10 years ago. It's very painful, sort of like shingles, but not quite. It's a infection in the skin, and it was there on her leg. Went back to the hospital. They gave her more antibiotics and sent her home again. And she and I have been upstairs. She has to stay in bed with her foot elevated, and it's been that way for just over a week now. It took 7 days for us to get the COVID-19 test results back. Of course, because of the cellulitis, that was what caused her temperature, not the COVID. But we didn't want to panic anyone, telling them that their pastor or their pastor's wife, depending on which church you go to, had a possibility of COVID. Now, the test came back negative. Cellulitis is not contagious, but her leg looks much better. The temperature in it was always high, but this last few days, the temperature in her leg has been normal. And I'm not sure she'll be back in town or to worship as for this Sunday. Like I said, we had vacation last Sunday. We just didn't go on vacation. We just stayed at home while I took care of her. Please continue to keep her in your prayers. She is doing better. And that's been my kind of preoccupation for the last week. And I apologize if haven't been on top of things like I should. Of course, I was on vacation, which is a God thing because we wouldn't have been able to do worship anyway. I want to thank Maurice for doing such a good job last week. Okay, well, that's the confession part of our morning devotions this morning, and that's the update. She is sleeping well and doing much better, and I hope to have this done as soon as possible. We're almost through it. Okay, our scripture lesson for this morning comes from the Gospel of Matthew, my personal favorite, chapter 5, verses 11 and 12. And it says, "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." Folks, when we stand up for our faith, there's always going to be somebody somewhere who is going to belittle us, make fun of us, they try their best to take our joy and take our faith from us. That is just reality. That's the way it's always been. As we've said before, people without faith are blind to the realities of the world with God in it. And they get mean-spirited. And yes, that's one of the hardest things, especially when it comes from people who we love and people who we respect. And it's important that we put on that full armor of God. And that's what Paul was saying, the full armor of God, so that when Satan uses these people and they Sometimes they're not even aware of how mean spirited the things that they say are, how hurtful what they say is. But when we endure it, our reward in heaven will be great. So keep up the good work, keep up the good fight, and continue to proclaim Christ, no matter what anybody else says. You have a wonderful first day of October, and may God bless you in all that you do today.